Electric vehicles are becoming increasingly more accessible to fleets every single year, as the technology progresses and the cost of acquisition continues to drop. But what if you run a high mileage operation, or you operate in areas with less charging infrastructure? You may have some real doubts on whether or not an EV integrated fleet is the right choice for you. That feeling is called range anxiety. The worry that EV drivers experience when they don't have enough battery to get them where they really need to go. Well, it can happen to fleet managers as well. It can keep them from making their jump into buying their first EVs and reaching their sustainable goals. But what if range didn't have to be a concern? Would it change the way you feel about EVs and their place in your fleet? Here are 3 things to know about EV range and how it's changing. EVs might already have more range than you think. Early EVs, as expected, had more of a limited range. But as the field has expanded, many consumers and even fleet professionals are finding higher ranges than expected. The US Department of Energy reported that last year, the number of EVs in the consumer market, with a range of over 300 miles, tripled from 2021 to 22. Both the Rivian R1T and R1S, as well as the Tesla Model S, have over 400 miles of range. And the Lucid Air gets an impressive 516 miles. Now, I've personally driven an EV Kia 6-Round, and that car surprised me the first time I stepped into it with how much I really loved it. The 2024 models are showing up to 310 miles of range and can fast charge to 80% in under 20 minutes. Even the Nissan Leaf, we all remember that little guy, one of the earlier EVs, has increased its range with every edition. Where it started at 73 miles, it's now up to 212. That's pretty good. In the transportation industry, medium-duty EVs are starting to look more like a viable option every year. The average distance of new electric vehicles produced in 2023 is around 300 miles. That may be all you need. Number 2, charging access is getting a whole lot simpler. The 2021 infrastructure bill allocated $7.5 billion to create 500,000 public EV chargers in the US by 2030. Now, that's a long way away, but even now, 2 years later, charging stations have expanded across the country. The US now has around 138,000 public charging stations, though you'll find most of them in places like California, Florida, New York, Georgia, and Texas. No surprise here, Tesla has led the way in building out charging stations, and in order to make charging more accessible to drivers, many other EV manufacturers are now choosing to adhere to Tesla's North America charging standards, so that more drivers can take advantage of Tesla's large network of charging stations. Pretty cool. And number 3, you might already have more tools to maximize your EV range. The best way to get the most out of your EV assets is planning efficient routes that can optimize your range. And the best way to do that, no surprise here, is with fleet technology. Chances are that your vehicles have already installed some sort of telematics device, and most fleets have some system in place that they use to manage maintenance, whether that be a well-rounded spreadsheet or a fleet management software like Fleetio. Utilizing a telematics GPS service to create optimized routes can keep you well within your range of charging stations. And managing EV maintenance with the fleet management software can help ensure that your vehicles are always in peak performance. All right, if you want more information about EVs and other tips about building out your EV assets, check out Fleetio's free EV white paper on our website. I'll put the link in the description below, and thanks for watching. For more content like this, consider subscribing, and we'll see you around.